Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to create a glass skin glowy makeup look on a BJD doll. It's actually pretty easy. I'll show you how to do everything from creating the eyes from scratch, painting the makeup, and applying the eyelashes. When you're done watching this video, you can check out my other BJD makeover tutorials on my channel. First, you'll need a doll. I got this one from BJD artist Rabbit1993. She's a very talented doll artist. I linked her Instagram in the video description, so go check out her work. From the poll in my post tab, most of you voted for this look as your favorite outfit and hair combo. And if you've been paying attention to my post, you'll remember this image showing exactly how I designed her makeup and eyes using Procreate. My next step was to create her eyes from scratch. I took the eye design that I made in Procreate and created a few different sizes and color variations. Then I printed it out and cut out my eye design in the size that I wanted. Next, I designed and printed out this eye sizing template. You can actually download this for free on my website. Just visit my shop to find it. You will also need some sort of transparent plastic. I have this leftover piece from an old Monster High box and also this clear blue file folder. What's important is that you can see the eye sizing chart behind the plastic. I decided to use the blue folder and I put the chart inside of it. I'm making 18mm eyes so I can use the template to make eyes this exact size. Using air dry clay, I rolled out 2 balls of clay and made 2 circles on top of the template. By the way, everything I use is listed in my BJD supply list linked below. So I made a bunch of clay eyes just in case I mess up or want to have different eye colors. Notice there's some cracks along the edges of my eye circles. I'm ignoring these cracks because they're going to get covered up later. After the clay dried, I used Liquitex clear varnish to coat the entire eye. This acts as a glue to attach my eye cutouts. Then I went over the eye with another coat of varnish. This is necessary to protect the artwork from getting discolored by the resin later. I used these iridescent glitters to create a shimmery effect inside of my eye. You only need a tiny bit of glitter. Mix the glitter with some varnish and brush it into your eye design. You only want to use a little bit or else you'll cover up your eye artwork. Before adding the resin, I attached the eyes to a piece of aluminum foil using sticky putty. This is going to prevent the eyes from moving around while I'm applying the resin. Add a drop of UV resin on top of your eye and then spread it out over the top surface using a toothpick. Cure the resin under the UV lamp. Now I'm going to add resin to the back side of the eye for added strength. I want a slightly thicker layer of gloss, so I'm spreading another small drop of UV resin on top. Here's my finished eyes. I really like the subtle sparkles. I'm going to use the purple ones for this doll. To attach the eyes, I'm using the same sticky putty from before. I made this tool using a toothpick and a bit of putty on top. This is going to help me position the eyes. Add a bit of putty inside of the faceplate. Don't put it too close to the eye openings. Then flatten it a bit with your fingers. Gently attach the eyeball to my little tool, and I use that to position the eye inside of the faceplate. Press the eye onto the putty that's inside of the face, and now you can see how your eyes look on the face sculpt. I already sprayed this face with Mr. Super Clear so I can get started on sketching the eyes. I'm using a dark purple watercolor pencil to sketch out the eye shape. I have a printout of my doll design on the table next to me so I can use it as a reference while I work. At this stage, you can still erase mistakes with an eraser. Alright, let's do the other side now. Now that her eyeliner looks good, I'm going to sketch the lines of the mouth and her eyelids. Now's a good time to save my work, so I'm going to remove the eyeballs and spray her with a coat of Mr. Super Clear. While I'm waiting for the face to dry, I can prepare my blush palette. Lay down a paper towel because this method tends to drop some blush on your table. To get a glowing, translucent skin look, you're going to need multiple blush colors. At least a warm shade like orange and a cool shade like pink. I shaved some chalk pastel into a powder with a knife, and I'm going to add some purples for her eyeshadow too. These eyeshadow brushes are perfect for applying blush on a doll. First, I mixed a light pink color to brush over her outer cheeks. I'm avoiding the center of her cheeks right now. Don't do too much blush at first, only use a little bit at a time and build up your color slowly. Now I'm going to add a pale orange to the center of her cheeks. This is going to create a very subtle pale orange to pale pink gradient over her cheeks. You can start to see the orange to pink gradient. Now I'm darkening below her cheekbones with a darker pink color to create a more contouring effect. I blended out some more with light pink and added some blush right above her nose. Starting to add some purple eyeshadow here. Adding peach at the inner half of her eyeshadow. If you put too much, you can use a kneaded eraser to lightly erase. I added a bit of pink blush to the tip of her chin for some more contouring. I'm happy with my blush, so I'm going to seal the face again with Mr. Super Clear. I'm going to show you guys my secret trick for working with acrylic paint. You can make your own Stay Wet palette by using a plastic container with a lid. I'm using a plastic file case from Daiso. Lay a paper towel inside and spray it with water. Put a piece of parchment paper on top, and now your paint can stay wet on top of the paper. If you close the lid, it can actually stay wet for a whole day in case you need to take a break from painting. I mixed a dark purple color to use for her eyeliner. Because I sketched out the eye shape earlier, I could just paint over my drawing. I finished painting the eyeliner on both eyes, so I'm darkening the lines of her eyelids. I added a bit of shading inside of this area of her eyeliner using a watercolor pencil. You can see that her eyeliner looks a bit softer now. My secret to making any color eyeshadow on a doll is mixing different watercolor pencils. Here, I'm mixing different shades of purple to get the exact color that I want. You can even create color gradients using this method. I'm adding a pale yellow color in the center of her eyelids to highlight them. Now I'm using a pink chalk pastel to shade her tear ducts. Extending her eyeshadow to the bottom of her eyes. Now moving on to the mouth, I darkened the lines of her mouth. For her lips, I started with a very light base coat, almost the same color as her skin, just a slightly darker shade. The base coat is going to make her lips look way more full in the end. Then I slowly built up a darker color towards the inside of her mouth. I added some detail lines with a red watercolor pencil. I sharpened my purple pencil to a fine point in order to draw her bottom lashes. I lightened the inner corners of her eyes using a pale pencil. This is going to make her eye look brighter. You can see a slight difference in the right side that I just did versus the left side. I'm using a pale color again to highlight her waterline. Again, this is going to make her eyes look brighter. Drawing in the eyebrows with a watercolor pencil. Don't laugh, but I always turn the head upside down in order to draw the other side and make it even. Here's how the face looks so far. I'm going to remove the eyes and seal it with Mr. Super Clear. Now I'll blush her ears and her hands. For her ears, start with a pink color on the inside of the ear and blend out towards the top. This is going to create a gradient. I added orange at the top of the gradient to create more dimension. For her hands, an easy way to start is by blushing the palms first. Then in between the fingers, not on top of the fingers, but in between. Use a warm color for the tips of her fingers. I used this method on all of her hands so they look consistent. Now I'm adding some final details on her face. I'm using a light color to paint over her waterline to make it stand out even more. I painted a very thin line of white over the end of her eyeliner to accentuate the wing. I'm doing the same thing over the center of her eyes to make her eyes seem more open and bright. Adding some more yellow above her eyelid to highlight it. Now for the fun part, adding glitter. You can find these iridescent glitter powders in my BGD supplies list linked below. I use my acrylic gloss varnish to make the glitter stick to her face. I always save my old messed up brushes to use for glitter and varnish. I'm starting with an iridescent pink for her eyelids. You just need a tiny bit of the glitter powder. Dab your brush in gloss and mix it with some glitter. Brush it on her eyelids and then use your finger to tap and blend it out. So I forgot to film putting glitter on the cheeks, so I'll try to explain it here. Basically, I use the same method of applying glitter powder. To get a glass skin effect, I only put glitter on her cheeks, not all over her face. Not only that, I used 2 different colors of glitter. I used a golden color for the centers of her cheeks and a pink color for the sides of her cheeks. The 2 iridescent glitters acted together are what's helping create the glass skin effect. After brushing gloss on her lips and eyeliner, I'm ready to add eyelashes. I bought some fake lashes, but they're way too long, so I need to shorten them. You cannot simply cut the lashes or else they will have choppy, blunt ends, so I have to use this special method. Take a piece of black thread and tape it to a non-stick surface. My table already has a silicone mat, so I'm taping directly onto that. Then I use E6000 super glue. This is a flexible silicone glue that is very goopy and dries flexible. It also dries somewhat fast. I spread some E6000 along the thread, then attach the eyelashes along the thread according to how short you want them to be. I'm using this tool to help spread the glue along the eyelashes. When it's dry, you can cut off the excess glue and the old half of the eyelashes. Now you have new, shorter eyelashes. You can see the old eyelashes on the left and the new shorter ones on the right. To attach the eyelashes, I brushed on some tacky glue. Then I used tweezers to carefully attach the lashes. I actually added a second layer on top of the first layer of lashes. Here's how her face looks in the daytime. I think she looks so sweet and I'm in love with her glowy glass skin makeup. I think it makes her look very healthy, natural, and youthful. I wish my skin looked this good. Of course, I wanted my doll to have a perfect life, so I made her this mini Nintendo Switch. You can actually change the game that she's playing. If you're interested in how to make this, let me know and I'll work on the tutorial. I also made her a phone so she can text her friends. Here's her final look. Like I said, she's living her best life. I really wish I could spend the whole day being cozy and playing video games too. What do you think of my doll? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I have more BGD makeup tutorials in my channel and playlist. Thanks for watching and see you next time.